Hey everybody, it's WizBets here for the first time with TMD doing a recording going over the Farmers Insurance Open. This is our third PGA Tour event that we have done together. TMD, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm really looking forward to this tournament. It's going to be a complete 180 from what we had in the Amex last weekend, where that was a lot of scoring. I think now it's going to be fun to see people really, really sweat out pars.
Well, why
Oh,
don't
and
you?
Andrew will be there.
Yeah, Andrew will be there. Heck yeah, we need him feet on the ground telling us what's going on. So right away, let's talk about really quickly before we get started about the Farmers Insurance Open. I want to see if I can pull up Amex to see anything that you learned from the Amex Open because this was your second one that you've done this year.
Right.
But you can go ahead. I'm pulling it up now.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were pulling something up.
No,
No,
no, no,
I
no.
think the biggest switch was I love how every tournament is, I guess, different week to week. Obviously, this is kind of a West Coast rotating course type deal, and like they move things in swings, but every course is kind of different in its own way. It's unique, and I think the rotating courses last week was. I mean, it's always intimidating because you're not going to have the data for shots on two of those courses, and that can kind of be weird because it kind of messes with matchups. I know people probably noticed I didn't really bet matchups round to round. It was more of a pre-tournament thing. So I think it was cool to take advantage of an offensive tournament and then now kind of just do a complete switch to a really defensive tournament, if that's the right word for it. But I was happy to grab some units back because Sony really was irritating at
Yeah,
times.
you did phenomenal. I thought a lot of our pre-live stuff, pre-tournament stuff was really good. Loved the Henley bet that we did. Round four kicked me around a little bit, but otherwise we did really well rounds one, two, and three. Um, Scott, I could not get a read on Scotty. I got him day one, and then I tried fading him on round three, and then taking his fairways on round four, and I had a hard time with Scotty. Jason Day, I had a live bet on him top five for plus 250, and he was one of the only people in round four that really dominated. Round four was bizarre. For almost every of the top golfers we assumed were gonna do well, Siwoo shot even par with a 72. um, Cantley really disappointed. Uh, it was a weird round four, but another feather in our cap, another tournament where at least we made profit in. So that's the goal every single time for this first year, just to make profit every single time we do a new tournament. And this one is going to be the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. Beautiful, beautiful golf course out in San Diego, California. Um, can you tell people we saw three different courses for the Amex Open. Tell people the differences between the North and the South courses and how often we're going to see them in this tournament.
Yeah, so for anyone not familiar, it's still a course rotation, but it's a little bit different from the three course. It's going to be in the first 2 days, they'll split the guys in half, and half will do the north course on tomorrow, and then the other half will do south, and then they'll flop it the next day. And I believe the reason why that is just because of the like getting everyone in with the big field in daylight. I could be dead wrong about that, but um, it's going to be interesting to see who can take advantage of the North Course because the North Course is easier. Wiz and I were just talking about it before we went live. They're both hard courses. Like you're not going to see guys go 9 under like Ludwig did last year. We might, and if that's the case, then that person is clearly going to be top five. I mean, as long as they hold it together, it's just about taking advantage of that north course and then not blowing up on the south because you can still shoot 4, 5, 6 under on the south. It just doesn't happen often, and it definitely doesn't happen twice. So I think reading up into a lot of the course history for some of these players has been very telling. But I'm really interested to see how people manage the transition from one course to the next for the next 2 days.
Yeah, and then obviously the main course being the South, that'll be most of our focus. But Andrew makes a great point. that the lines for the people that are playing the North Course aren't necessarily too different from people who are playing the South. And we have seen in the past, which I'll ask Team D about this as well, do people take advantage if they're playing the North Course on the first day to get a really big lead going into rounds 2 and 3 before the cut happens?
Yeah, all golfers are trying to do that. That's like the number one goal. It's a driver heavy course. So I think a lot of the bombers and guys that are pretty good at scrambling and cleaning up around the greens, like they're trying to attack and they're trying to get as many strokes under as they possibly can because they know it's going to be a battle. Um, I think to what Andrew's saying, like the North unders are going to feed. I would say yes, but proceed with caution because if you look on DraftKings, it's all 69 and a half for the stroke lines. And like those are great numbers. And there are certainly some guys that are going to do 69, 68, 67. But it's not going to feast, I don't think. Um, Not on prize picks. I see so many 78. Okay, well, if you're getting 70 and a half, completely different ballgame. It depends on the player, but a lot of the guys that I saw on DraftKings were guys who certainly can get 69, 68, 67. Um, Even guys that aren't high profile, like Garrick Higo, I saw was there, who I kind of liked. Um, I can go down the list. I think I had it pulled up. But I was more specifically, and I was going to tell you this, Wiz, I'm more looking to fade on day one than I am to back those North Course guys, just because I think it's the most safe round one way to go.
Yeah, and I wanted to pull up the South course right now. So what this shows you is that it shows your hole number, the average strokes lost for amateur players, and hole handicap on scorecards. As you notice, every single hole on this course has at least a negative point 0.6 strokes lost for amateur players, including several above over minus 7.75. The hardest stretch comes on the back nine when you get holes 13 and 14, who are just both of them are drastically long course long holes. Hole 13 is the one that really stands out to me because it's a 621 yard par 5. And the worst part about 13 from what I've seen is that you have a bunker on your right when you hit about 300. So you got to make sure you don't miss right when you're there. But when you get to the green, you got three bunkers in front and two bunkers in back. So you not only have great accuracy on your first tee shot if you're gonna bomb it and you're gonna try and get the green in two, but then you have to have a perfect iron shot that doesn't move much. So 13 and 14 are gonna be your really difficult ones for somebody that's playing, especially somebody who hasn't played the South Course a ton, like a younger player or somebody who hasn't played Farmers much, if they go here for the first time in round one, those are the type of the players I would really love to target. And especially the golfers that we had been targeting for the Sony and the Amex, those are the ones I want to fade now. Because in the Sony, we were taking accurate drivers who had really good greens in regulation, but didn't necessarily have a super far drive. Now it's almost a complete opposite. You want the bombers. You want those guys that can hit 300 every single time, because if you're not hitting far drives, you basically don't have a shot at birdie on nearly any of these holes.
Yeah, it's going to be weird to see because, it in the past few years, we've seen guys that aren't necessarily bombers win it. Like Harris English last year, obviously not a bad driver, but it wasn't your like prototypical bomber. This year, I think that's going to be way different. I think it will be a bomber that's going to win. It was kind of strange to see that Harris English outlier last year, but it's gonna be it's cool that a lot of these other guys, like you said, in the Sony and Amex, they'll actually have a chance. Like a Michael Brennan is someone who sucked at Sony, and I took him, and that lost quick. And God, I'm trying to think of someone else that was playing like last week and the week before. Just guys that are really good out the box, but like suck at placement and couldn't really catch up last week. Those
Mhm.
are going to be the guys and like you see the field adjust. Like, where's Russell Henley? Where's Ben Griffin? Oh, they're not playing because this is just not something that they can compete that well in. It's kind of a waste of their time, you know? So they're going to sit this one out and probably play the waste management next week. Um, but it's cool. It's a at least for your case, Wiz, like you're learning more names. This is a whole nother batch.
Oh
Like
my
this
God.
is fresh
These are
spawners.
great. These are brand new guys. Most of them. Some of them we have returning guys. Like obviously we have our Siwoo that's going to play every tournament this year. Apparently Hideki, Jason Day is playing again. Aaron Rye, Denny McCarthy, JJ Spawn is going to play almost every single one. So what we use Data Golf. And what this does is that this is a true strokes game depending on their skill level and on how the course is as well for performers at Torrey Pines. Out of these eight categories, which two would you say are the most important to have at Torrey Pines?
Like all of the different strokes gains categories.
Yeah.
Off the tee, around the green. And one thing I love about BetSperts Golf is that they'll do in their models, they'll have like a very specific type of around the green and its proximity. It's like how close they're going to be putting it to the hole. That's something I'm looking out for. But yeah, it's off the tee, around the green. Approach will always matter. But for in this case, it would be 200 plus. Whereas like last week, we're looking a lot of like 125 to 150, 150 to 175 yards. Now it's whoever can land it from deep, which there are some guys, Aaron Rye being one of them that I wanted to talk to you about is definitely on my radar. But those three, I, I mean, there's small niche stuff like ball speed, but as far as strokes gained, I'm thinking guys who are great off the tee that are going to be able to save par if they need to around the green, if that makes sense.
Well, then let's talk about Aaron Rye because he is somebody, not the best putter in the world, not doesn't have the distance, but he is one of the more accurate guys in the tour. We took him in the Sony Open. Really good approach, really good around the green. Rising golfer as well. 2024 and 2025 are phenomenal for him, getting to top 50 among all PGA golfers. Why did you want to talk about Aaron Rye in this specific course?
I like him as a ball striker. I think it's right for him. Like this is a pretty difficult course, and it kind of takes a bit of a surgeon to power through it. I also think he's a good mental golfer. When I was looking at his whole profile, like you see he's losing strokes on every green surface but POA. And these greens are going to be POA, very unpredictable. They grow unevenly. They're very bumpy. They grow unevenly throughout the day. So the PM guys are going to get a little bit of a worse surface there in the greens. And it's just kind of interesting to see he's losing a consider. I want to say like a considerable amount of strokes, but like it's a pretty bad profile. And then you see him gain on POA, just kind of interesting.
Well,
And when I'm looking
I'm
at
gonna cut you off right there because I want you to actually go over for me the different types of greens and why this matters.
okay, so I am not a greens expert by any means, but one thing that I know about POA is that it's bumpy, and I think the way that it differs from the other ones, and Andrew can also correct me if I'm wrong, because there's a certain level of expertise here. Like Bermuda was what we were seeing in Sony, and that I believe is a little bit faster, right? So it's a little bit thin, and so it can be hard to gauge for some other people. But there's also Poa Trivialis, which is what the Amex was. That's probably I want to say the easiest surface. Whenever it's Poa Trivialis, you're going to see a lot of people gain strokes putting that you wouldn't expect, just because very easy to predict, very easy to read. Whereas like a Bermuda is kind of like you don't read it as much as you remember how it goes. The other kind is bent. I don't know much about this. This is something that I want to learn as I go on this year is like how the greens impact certain putting profiles for different players. That's something that I've never really taken into account. I've been more of a ball strike, spike putting funnel type better.
Mhm.
If that makes any sense.
No, it completely makes sense, and I'm showing examples of all these types of grass right now. Fescue is one of them. Zoysia is one of them. You talk about Poe and then Rye greens. This is just something, especially for putters that aren't phenomenal, knowing what kinds of greens they do well on is extremely important. So while we were dealing with Bermuda last course, now we're going to be on Poe. Would you say for Aaron Rai, somebody who really struggles in putting, is this something we should look into to see how he does on this type of green?
I mean, sure. I think day one is a real test for everybody, and he does have a bad putting profile. He's not good at putting. If he was, he'd be much better, ranked a lot higher. Um, so yeah, maybe. But what's interesting is his course history here is kind of shitty. I can't lie, but the putting has been fine. Like
Hmm.
he, out of his five different tournament appearances here, he's gained strokes putting three out of those five times, and one of them it just says dead at zero. I think I'm actually only filtering south. So if I can go to north, maybe this will
Where
add
are
a
you
bit to
doing
it.
this, by the way, for seeing course history?
BetSpertsGolf.com. Going into the model section and picking Aaron Rai, I'm able to see his entire profile the way that they set it up.
Can you send me that
And
link
to
really quick
confirm
just so
it,
I can share it on screen with everybody?
oh, of course. Let's see. I guess I'll just do it over Discord.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right. Sent it to you. So yeah, that is where. Have you always had your screen on? Has this been a thing?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I
Because
did not know that.
I was showing that. I was showing this right here, going over everything. I showed the different types of greens. Yeah, I've had my screen on the entire time.
Okay, great. Yeah, I had no clue.
No, 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 no. You're good. You're good, my guy. Um, yeah. So these are like this is what BetSport does. Awesome for this. Finish summaries, tournament results, so we can go to farmers. Okay. So yeah, just really, really struggled in 2025. It was weirder than 2022. He was phenomenal. Top six finish. By the way, really quickly, can you just quickly say, because we're going to be seeing these a lot on stream, can you give the acronyms for all of these again for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, so SG stands for strokes gained, and so the
Okay.
different ones are total, like total strokes gained. T2G is tee to green. Pretty self-explanatory. OTT is off the tee, just how well you do driving. APP is approach. BS is ball striking, just kind of a collective of all the different times that you would, hit a golf ball. ARG stands for around the green. P is putting. Um, yeah, and they expand on this a little bit, like into different subcategories, but those are the main strokes gain stats that get used.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, BetSpert's awesome with this. Even if you go to like here, it'll show you what their model says for who's supposed to do phenomenal in this course. I will say I am a little relieved not to see one of our nightmare pick from the previous tournament, Alex Nord, who ended up being god awful. I'm not sure if you're currently targeting him, but I'm glad to not see him high on this list because he
It
is on
it
Data Golf.
it sucks because he actually probably will do well here, but I
Oh,
can't I
come
can't
on,
go
man! You're
bet.
not supposed to say that.
He probably will. I won't touch it though. Like I'll
No, 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 no.
never
God,
bet
no.
it.
Absolutely not. So, um, it's also nice. I'm keeping track of our NBA stuff, and we just cashed Nemhard out of nowhere. I'm so interested to see how that Discord reaction went because he had like four assists like 2 minutes ago. Now he has eight. That's hilarious. Um, okay, so we have seen favorites on all these courses so far. Generally do pretty well. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler dominated on in the last one, which is unfortunate because it didn't make for very fun because he was just that guy. Tell us about Xander. Tell us why he's the favorite, and tell us a little bit about his game.
Xander Schauffele is probably the best player that is playing in terms of ranking. He's also a San Diego kid, and this is his like one of his home courses. So I think he speaks very highly of himself playing in this tournament. I don't know how much stress he really faces as a golfer, like welcoming his family and stuff like that. So I never want to like run with the narrative that oh, it's the hometown kid, like he's gonna ball out. Like he is really good, and he's gonna probably do very well. a great all around golfer, and he's a great course fit here just because he can drive really well. He's good around the green. He's a decent putter. You know what I mean? Like good ball striker, just a really good golf player. Was known to be sort of a choker and couldn't really get it done in majors, but he ended up getting two 2 years ago,
Hmm.
or would that be last year?
2
No.
years ago, he was a dual major in PGA and the Open.
Right, right. So yeah, two. Yeah. So once he got those, I think it lifts a big weight off his shoulders because he's one of the best that had never done it, and
And he's
now he
somebody who's
has done it.
consistently like top three in all of the side. Like this is considered a side one. He's top three in the majority of them most of the time, including, oh wow, 2019
Yeah.
he was runner up in the Masters. So this is somebody who, like, very similar to Scotty, always up there. If you look at the last few times he's been at the Farmers, last year he was top 9, top 13 in 2023, top 34 in 2022, and then he finished second in 2021. Um, Consistently good golf, good driver, good around the green. Had a really bad putting on his previous time, which is seems to be an outlier, which almost could benefit us here. Because if he's improving on everything else every time he plays in the Farmers, then he had one outlier bad putting game. Even though he is the favorite currently, his top 20 odds aren't terrible. Like, minus 124 for Xander, in my opinion, is getting towards value lines right here. And obviously, we're not going to do too many pre-tournament bets. And I know Xander is a very not community, but just like no-brainer pick. But who did we say was gonna do well in the Amex? And then you told me too many people are on him. I don't want to take
Yeah, right. It was Siwoo. I mean, that was just disastrous
him.
because I think that would have been the shortest conversation ever. I was going to come into our talk and be like, "Yeah, it's probably Siwoo," and then you were going to say, "Okay," and then we were going to take it, and I ended up just seeing that he was tipped a lot, and I
What
was like,
me and
"Ah."
TMD did for our pre-tournament bets is that we narrowed it down to 10 names that we liked, and we like eliminated them one by one, going over like, all right, well, there's a reason why we don't want to take this guy. There's a reason why we're going to take this guy. And we found the ones that we liked the most. And I would say overall, I think it worked out pretty well, looking back at it with hindsight. So we might do that again today once we start going through stuff. I'm interested to see which golfers we narrow it down to, but for me personally, I know, like, maybe this is just a noob pick, but for the value, do you see value in Xander like I do?
No, only because this is going to be a really weird course to bet top finish. There's going to be a lot of guys you don't really expect to see. And I mean, it can be like that in every golf tournament. You have a couple guys you've never heard of that you go, what the how did they get up there? But it just that element of it makes it so hard to pinpoint top 20s specifically. So what I decided to do this week is focus on making the cut. And if we were to look at top 20s or top 10s, find the ones with insane value on a sprinkle. So in that case, Xander would be the opposite of what we would want to target.
Okay, interesting. Do you know where to see make cut on DraftKings, by the way?
Yeah, you're gonna go to
Oh, there it is.
outrights,
I
and
got it.
then
Yep, I found it. All right, that was pretty quick. I kind of know where it was, but I didn't see it like at first glance, but I immediately found it. So yeah, here's all the cut stuff. It's on DraftKings. You go to outrights and cut. And a majority of these guys are going to be like around minus odds, which are a lot, which was why a lot of TMD's plays and possibly mine, if this is a strategy I want to try, are gonna be like parlays combining two different people. So obviously we'll have that conversation in a bit, but I do like Sandra's history on this course, just me personally, but um
yeah,
that'll be a
I'm
conversation for
actually
another day.
taking Xander. I'm taking Xander. This is, I guess you're finding it out here first,
No, 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 no.
because I haven't posted these. But one of my plays is Xander and Taylor Pendrith to make the cut. Taylor Pendrith, one of my favorite plays here. And I also do want to address you, Andrew, real quick. Goddard is definitely a nuke. And when I was just saying like maybe playing a top 20 guy with value, he isn't that, but like For Goddard, that's probably the one exception because he's just such a prototype for this course. But I'm taking Xander and I'm taking Pendrith both to make the cut. It's a part of my multiple to make the cut 2 leg parlays that I feel comfortable with. This is my highest stake because it comes out to, I want to say, is it
It
135?
was 135
When you
on DK, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good number. It's actually the most juiced out of all the ones I came up with. But there are some Pendrith doubters, but not many of them. I think a lot of people. I think there's probably more people that think he's going to win the whole thing than people who think he's going to do poorly. Um, so I think that's a pretty good one. It fits him pretty well. Good driver.
Back to back top 10 finishes on this course. Really good on strokes gained. Um, this is his first tournament of the year, correct?
I want to say, yeah.
No,
Or no, did he play at the Amex last
he
week?
played
He played at
Amex.
the Amex.
He played. Wow, we're way off. He played Amex and Sony. Wow, I apologize.
He's right. He just missed the cut last week at 10 under, I want to say. And it was just because he kind of missed some putts that he should have made. I do not remember him at Sony at all, but I do remember him playing.
Well, I would say for driving accuracy and driving distance, this is the type of one that I think has value and to target. Obviously, you want driving distance and driving accuracy. Don't get me wrong, but not everybody has that. But on a course like this, especially in the front nine, where the trenches aren't necessarily showing up until the back nine, you have open range. You have pretty wide greens. The goal is just to get it as far as you can on some of these tee shots. The people who are exceptional driving distance are the ones I definitely want to target. Do I have the right mindset there at all?
Yeah, it's definitely a distance. Even if you don't have the accuracy, I know that for at least most of it, I think missing right is, I don't know if it's the north course or the south course where you can miss right a lot.
Missing right, you can
But
do on pretty much on everyone on the south course. Missing left has a couple trenches on the back nine, but
right.
generally the bunkers are more abundant towards the green rather than on the fairways.
Right. So I think like you want to try to target, I guess, bombers that are maybe right-handed going left to right as they hit. Because if you miss right, you're still fine. I know Michael Brennan again is someone that I researched that does that pretty well.
Hmm.
But you can miss and still be in a good position because of how far you hit it.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of just let me go to my query tool on Data Golf. I love this. I love this site so much. I'm just gonna go by distance. I want to see guys that are more overall, maybe some names that we haven't really talked about at all in our research. And I just want to let's say if this is somebody that's currently on your radar. So like Marco is obviously the biggest driver in this tournament. Is this anybody that you know you're interested in all? Like I like his I like a couple, I like his approach a little bit too. Is this somebody that you're looking at?
Yeah, he's definitely good for DFS. He's one of the value guys that I'm talking about. The ones that you can really get a good number for on a top 20.
Hmm.
Great driver of the golf ball. DP World Tour guy. Really good. Um, I mean, not like the best player in this tournament, but yeah, he's certainly headlines driving, distance, ball speed. Good around the green too. I'm pretty sure he kind of fits my mentioned profile very well
Of
when I was
like
talking
what
about.
you're looking for in this course.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see your screen for me here, but I know it. There are two spikes. I'm gonna guess that is driving and what, like approach or
Yep.
something.
So driving and approach are the two big ones. Here I'll. Actually, let me click on this again. There we go. So driving distance is the big one. He's one of the best in the PGA. Approach, he's up there as well. Average putting, and then below average on driving accuracy and around the green. And the one things that we can afford on this course to not be elite at are driving accuracy and putting. But you're saying he's better at around the green than the data golf is giving him credit for.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. I think that the data that's out there can only really account for I mean, he's not a PJ Tour guy, right? So there's not going to be a lot of PJ Tour. This is his first like full season, I believe, where he's going to be on the tour. There's not a lot of data, especially for courses like Torrey Pines,
Hmm.
that are long, difficult. Like this is definitely his ball game, and I'm trying to look it up on BetSperts to try to see some information that they have, but like yeah, on there's positive ARG, but again, not the greatest sample size. Just about like 7, yeah, 10 PJ starts.
Somebody who
So
really,
just not a lot.
but again, like you look at this, you're looking at the ones they're pulling up. You have three tournaments that they have data for, and he's only been in two round fours so far. So take
Right.
his data with a grain of salt. But yeah, this is somebody that I'm definitely interested in for sure because I think the value is going to be there. Currently, Marco to make the cut is at minus 175, which is actually pretty decent odds, meaning his top 40 and his top 30 are 100% going to be plus odds here. So definitely somebody that even if I don't bet on him, which I might, I'm interested to see how he does on this course, just like how I was with Zalatoris in the Amex. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And Willie Z is another great name. He's probably the most bet. I think he's the Siwoo of this week.
mhm.
I've seen him tipped by far the most.
Well, we,
I
we
thought it would
just
be
we just
Brooks.
wanted to
It's not
see
Brooks.
him play well at Amex, have his potential. He shot 65 and then a 70, which wasn't great, but came back with a 70 on round 3 and then a 64 in round 4 of the Amex. Somebody who's been dealing with injuries for years, but we know that Zalatoris has the potential for really big finishes. This is definitely a course I'm interested in him because Zalatoris isn't the best putter. But again, we've said that this course, you do not need to be an elite putter to get that advantage, like we have seen in the last two courses. Driving distance fluctuates depending on his health, but I really, really liked his driving um, last weekend at the Amex. And man, there might not be a better approach golfer when he is right. Um, Really, really saves himself on some putts. One of the kings of just getting it to like 10, 15 feet to the pin.
Yeah, you love to see that here just because it's a cold world on the putting greens at Torrey. I mean, there's routine, 7 foot, 6 foot, 5 foot putts that'll miss.
Mhm.
So I think that speaks a lot to striking when close, like around the green, and if you can get a shorter approach, sticking as close as possible matters because it's really hard um, to nail like intermediate shots. You want to get as close as possible.
Yeah.
Kind of a duh like statement. Like, yeah, you want it close. But, like here
But no,
especially,
so in
because like
golf, a lot of these
even
duh
close
statements are
intermediate.
just going to matter more at specific courses, you know?
Correct. Yeah, that's the case here. But
Okay.
Willie Z has I think he's got two top tens. He has a second place finish here. I think his two most recent before his surgery, he was T24 here.
Hmm.
So at the Genesis because it moved because of the wildfires out west earlier last year.
I mean,
Um,
in my opinion, Zalatoris is like one of the more talented golfers out there. It's just, I think right
Sure.
now he's still being criminally underrated in terms of the lines. Like if we go to DK right now, Zalatoris for again, I know you're not saying you're not a big fan of the top finishes, and I totally get that. But Zalatoris for a top 30 finish right now is plus money at 136. And if you scroll all the way down to top 40, where is he at? Minus
Be minus
122.
122. Because I was gonna say earlier I had people try to guess on who the top 40 would be. Surprisingly, not everyone that hit the Beaver guessed. Like all people had to do was just pull out the field list and just guess.
Hmm.
But not everyone did that. But my top 40 that I was going to roll with is Will Zalatoris. I think he's going to kill it. I'm avoiding the tip noise and
Yeah.
just saying, you know what, this guy rocks here. I think he's ready for it. I think this is the best he's felt in a minute, and he's going to be riding those good feelings.
So there are some golfers that we just like to take top finishes for. I think Russell Henley was a perfect example in the tournament
Yeah.
uh, last week. Now, we did finish well, but we were just so confident on him getting a good finish that there's no need to ladder. I like doing our ladder. I like doing one every tournament. Is Zalatoris in that conversation for a ladder, or are you just like top 40, lock it in, you know it's going to hit, and you can just cash it on Sunday?
He's absolutely in the conversation for a ladder. I think he's probably top three, top five talked about guys for a ladder.
Hmm.
He's not the guy I want to go after, but if you were to say like, "Hey, I'm most confident in Zalatoris. Let's go with Zal." What do you say? Like, I would say yes.
Yeah. And hey, we're 35 minutes in. We got plenty of time, but let's not keep the people waiting. You just mentioned that there is a specific golfer that you want to talk about. Let's hear it.
Right, right. I want to talk about Taylor Pendrith because he's a guy that is in the range where he's not a headliner. He's not going to be the short odds where because I see a lot of people taking Ludwig. Ludwig's up there with Xander. But he's not a long shot. I know that this is a tournament that long shots do win. It's just I can't lie. I'm not good enough to give you a like plus 100,000 winner. I can't do it, or a plus
We'll
ten
get
thousand
there.
winner.
We'll
Like
get
I
there.
can't. Do
And again, this is our third tournament working as like that.
it.
Like
Right,
that's what we're doing. So it's gonna take time. The fact that we're still profitable through two tournaments is a good sign for the future. Absolutely.
right. So I don't know if you want to pull up just for the visuals, Pendrith's profile on BetSperts,
I can
but
do that.
that's kind of what I've been looking at a lot today. Um, Canadian guy, buddies with Nick Taylor, who I've had you watch a little bit and
Yep.
follow in these past couple of tournaments. Say he's probably I could be wrong about this. I want to say he's the second best Canadian. I want to say Nick Taylor's ranked above him, but oh well, Corey Connors obviously. Um, but a guy who can battle, like definitely someone who can get it done in difficult circumstances. Just a generally really good golfer, and like I loved his course history here. Um, we know that he can drive the ball well, and in every tournament that he did, actually that he just played, period, um, he did well driving. Uh, I
I
love
mean,
how he plays
look at
around.
this graph right here. On very short courses, he gains 0.54 strokes per round, which is great. That's awesome. But on very long courses, he is among the best at zero point 0.7 strokes gained. And this is on an 84 round sample size. Would you say Torrey Pines fits in this category of very long?
Oh yeah, very long, very difficult. When you're looking to the left, it's going to be very difficult. If you look in that bottom left overall approach proximity, like yeah, 250 plus, 200, 250. Like he's good. He's really good with it, and he's playing decent golf too. I wouldn't say that last week missing the cut. I don't. I wouldn't even consider that an L. He just
Hmm.
missed some putts and finished 10 under. Boohoo. The cut line was what, like 11.
Yeah, something like that. I want
So
to.
yeah,
Oh man,
love him.
Betspurt's kind of hoeing me here on zooming in. I apologize. I was going to zoom in on a specific graph, but I want to talk about this graph right here, and I want you to talk to the people about what it means. This is average strokes gained by event season. Do you remember when I mentioned to you? Is there some golfers that just perform better earlier in the year? Looks like Taylor Pendrix is one of those people.
Yeah, yeah. Usually, I'd say the biggest Aloha West Coast guys are like the Hidekis, who love to just get started and get out ahead of everyone else. I wouldn't. I would. You know what? I would say that Pendrith. You can tell because he's played every tournament so far. That he likes to get out ahead of it too. There's a lot of guys that are really good in that Florida swing. It's funny how he isn't, but I do love how he is out west in the beginning of the year. Seems like he definitely likes to make sure that he's sharp for tournaments like Waste Management, Pebble Beach, and then into later the
I
Masters.
mean, it's wild to me that he is great during the later half of the year. Okay, getting around zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.6 strokes. And this is not, again, this is a high sample size we can go over here. but he is getting 2 strokes more in these Aloha tournaments. He's best on very long courses, over 250 feet, does well in very difficult conditions as well. And for finishing reasons, his best golf comes in the fourth round. So
Right.
I'm trying to find a reason not to like this guy in this, in for somebody that only has one professional win.
Right, which is honestly kind of surprising. And I want you to scroll down, Wiz, because just below these graphs, you're going to see his kind of his form. If you look at the last rounds, if you look at those last 8 rounds, that's a lot of green, man. Like last 16, still a lot of green. He's definitely. I wouldn't say he's like as in form as maybe a Ryan Gerard who's back to back to back second place finishes. I want to say, but he's in form and he's golfing well. You look at the drive distance, 304 is a great number. 180 ball speed, great number. ARG's a half stroke gained last 8 rounds. Great. We love that. Hasn't been putting bad. He's been very steady his whole career. So I love that. I love that. I think a complete golfer does well at this course. And you can even see all the times he played at Torrey Pines, which you can look at the very bottom, Wiz. If you go into courses, if you do Torrey Pines South and North, it'll even show you the US Open when they played.
Okay, so let me get rid of the farmers. Then let me do.
Yeah, you can just type. You can just
Yeah, no,
do Torrey. Oh, you
I
got it.
got there. Okay, apply.
Apply. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So you can see the U.S. Open down at the bottom. He did miscut, but he didn't golf too bad. I think he got killed by putting on that one.
Hmm.
But just good
It
finishes. You
seems to me when
want
he
guys,
struggles that it's because of putting.
yeah, and just tough greens for it. I think 7 out of the last 8 winners of this tournament had had a top 10 finish previously. So it's not necessarily a something where you say like, oh, you need to have done well to do well, because first time finishers even do fine. Um, but to win, you might need to have seen this place before and done it well.
Hmm. So if we go to tournament winners and we go to Pendrith, I'm assuming he's going to be pretty low on the list. Oh, yeah, plus 3,700, still phenomenal, even though he's got what 10th or 11th best odds. Plus 650 for a top five finish. Plus 325 for top 10. That's definitely ladder worthy, in my opinion. Um,
Totally, I agree.
no, I like the odds on Pendrith. I like that he's not up here because I'm gonna be like I might take Xander top 20. I'm still debating on that. But like Ludwig, I'm not interested in. Cameron Young, Cantley. I know you said Goddard it has value, but to me, it's very mixed. Siwoo Kim after his complete collapse in round four in the Amex. Not really interested in him as a pre-tournament bet. My apologies, or
I
round one
know.
bet. JJ Spawn is I think you're not legally allowed to ever bet a pre-tournament bet on JJ Spawn. I think he's just
I'm not. After what I said about him, I can't. I might be with these make a cut parlays, but a serious
that's
bet,
different.
no.
That's different. Hideki is back, and we want to talk about somebody who dominates in the Aloha season. It definitely would be a Hideki. Do you want to have a conversation about him, or is he just someone you're not too interested in?
Hideki's someone that I'm interested in, just not as much round to round. He is technically my most bet player. Another thing that I'm going to expose about my betting card that I'm going to be dropping after Wiz and I get off. I'm taking another top Japanese, and you guessed it, it's Hideki Matsuyama. I think that this is definitely one of those weird tournaments where it might be a little riskier because some of these guys can really drive the ball accurately, but no one can fight off the rest of what Torrey Pines asks you to do, like Hideki, especially like within that Japanese group. So
Hmm.
I'm taking him as the top Japanese guy. He's gonna have to battle that out with Hirata and them, and I'm also taking him to make the cut with Keegan Bradley, who is a guy who has not missed very many cuts here.
Okay, so let's write down. Let's just get all this down. So I'm gonna write down Hideki. You mentioned Keegan. What was his last name?
Keegan Bradley,
Keegan Bradley. I didn't hear that last part, so perfect. Okay.
Boston
Talk
Red Sox fan.
talk to me really quickly about Keegan Bradley.
Old head. Been around. Great golfer. Had an awesome year last year. I think he collected one win at the Travelers. I want to say when he like freaked out on the green. But yeah, he had a stellar year last year. After being chosen to captain the Ryder Cup, which was a really big thing for him. Um, One of those Jupiter cats, and he's just really good in courses like this. He's not, I wouldn't call him like a bomber specifically, or even a West Coast guy. Like it doesn't typically perform well out on the West Coast, but he's just great at tough courses. Like guys that really grind it out, he's one of them, and he has a lot of history here. If you look, there's T4, there's a fifth place finish, a second place finish, and then a slew of different, made the cut T16, T35, T15, T34. The dude's just done it. And you got to have a certain level of trust with a guy who's pretty in form despite his age and has kicked ass so many times. I think it's what separates him from like a Finau here because Finau has been unbelievable on this course. It's just he's not in form.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, definitely. It's tough in the Aloha series. I don't love the idea of taking somebody who's playing for the first time, but he did play at Sony, shot a 68 on round one, and then missed the cut with a 72 on in round two. Um, I like the idea. I do. For Keegan Bradley. Um, Definitely somebody who is rising in the PGA rankings as well. Before we move on to your picks that you sent me, is there anyone else that you want to mention that we haven't talked about? We've talked about Xander, Meredith, Goddard, Penji, Zalatoris, Hideki, and Bradley.
As far as singling someone out, no,
Okay.
because a lot of my make the cut parlays are top golfers. If I'm gonna throw a name out that I kind of want to talk about, it's Nikolai Højgaard, who is definitely a profile fit and someone I actually think value wise, I think you might love. I know that Andrew said it, Nikolai the goat. Sucks that he's not here because I know he likes him too, but definitely a guy that fits the profile for what you want here.
Big driver, really good on approach. Literally exactly what I'm looking for as well. So, um, just young.
Stripes in there.
I think this is for sure somebody if he does well in round one. This might be like a round bet guy that I look into. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on him for sure. So, are you okay if if I on screen show the stuff that you sent me?
Yeah, yeah. I think not all of it is official, but this is kind of what I like. I might not run with one of the make cuts, but here, this was just my strategy of trying to combine the seven best, and the ones that are in bold are the ones that I'm probably gonna roll with. But for anyone wanting to maybe put some extra units down, there's nothing wrong with taking McNeely and Spawn, Siwoo and Harris English, Goddard up and Cam Young. Like those are good pairs.
Mhm.
They're just not my favorite.
So I'm gonna ask you a
But
really dumb question that I get all the time when asking about like DFS, and it's, well, I need a pair for this player. How would you say you should pair your NBA plays? And I'm like, well, they're not really correlated together, you know? Is that the exact
right.
same you would say in PGA? Or if somebody does well in a course, does maybe the same profile of golfer do well as well? Or is that something you just completely don't care about?
Yeah, I mean, course fit is huge. Like, it's what I look for the most, and I think that there's definitely correlation. Golf doesn't allow you to parlay too much. This is one area where it does, and I would say yes, you want to match guys that if it goes well for Ludwig, it'll probably go well for Nikolai. Obviously, there's two separate entities, but the profile is similar. And like same thing with Hideki and Keegan Bradley. Like they're guys who have been there, done that. They're a little bit on the older side. They're experienced and they're good ball strikers. Same thing with Xander and Taylor Pendrith. Like just similar profiles, kind of obviously not the same player, but like yeah, like if one does well, probably the other.
Okay. I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. Um, let's go to here then. So as mentioned, we talked about Zalatoris. I don't know if I'm gonna either. I want something of Zalatoris pre-tournament. I don't know if I'm gonna take this top finish like we talked about, or I'm gonna do a ladder for him. I'll have to see what the odds are on DraftKings and FanDuel. But I mean, I'm not against playing this for just 1.22 units and just calling it a day with Zalatoris. I don't hate that at all. I don't hate Hideki at all. What I do want to ask you is that if somebody can't play top Japanese player for Hideki Matsuyama, what would you recommend as an alt?
Ooh, that's such a good question because it's such a unique market to take region. I definitely think Hideki is someone that should be backed, and I don't want to say that there's a one B sort of alternate, but I do think that he'll do well, and I would just say keep him on your radar. Maybe take him in a made. I would say made cup parlay. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's on the list again. Back him in some way because he's a safety guy. He's going to get you probably a top 40. He's going to get you the cut. And that's what we're really looking for him to do with top Japanese. Just kind of fend off the rest of them, give a decent finish. That's what I think he's capable of doing.
Remind me who he was competing with in the Sony when you took this.
Oh, I think it was Hirata.
It was
I
Hirata,
want to
yeah.
say,
And they both finished
yeah.
pretty high, right? Like it was nowhere near top 40. They were both near top 20, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it was a battle of they were at like 6 under. Hirata finished at 6 under. I think Kanaya also finished up there, but he just edged it out those last 2 days. It was just dominant.
Yeah, I'm not gonna find that right now. But all right, I want to talk about which you mentioned it, you teased it a little bit before, but when I did UFC, there was the Silva fights that I just felt were just so locked in that I put 2 point whatever units, the most I've ever put on any play before. I know we already talked about Xander and Pendrith, why we love them both so much, especially to make the cut. Um, Try to talk me down on not playing this for like 2.5 units.
I thought the same thing today. I can't lie. I almost said, fuck it. I'm gonna take one of them for like two something units, and it's just not stupid. Like I even talked to Andrew about this too, and he was like, I just don't see how these individually are a problem. Like it's profitable. It's a strategy that I've done before and it works.
Hmm.
I don't think it's dumb at all. Like especially like taking one of those top two.
Yeah.
There's just no reason. I can't talk you off of that at all.
Yeah, I might do that. I do, which is annoying because I did want a ladder Pendrith. Um, and we can talk about that, but man, dude, it might just be like a value play at this point, you know? Um, and then just
Yeah.
leave Pendrith and Xander alone after that. Obviously, you have Hideki, you have Keegan, you have Ludwig, Nikolai, which I like this one as well. Cantley and Day, interesting. I like these a lot. I really do. I especially love. I think the Zalatoris one. I think I talked myself into it before finding out that, which is funny. I asked you with the top 40 odds, and you knew exactly what they were. So,
Yeah.
um,
Also, Andrew, shut your dumbass up. I want to call you out real quick. You were talking about Daniel Berger over Willie round one, and Willie shut you up. So just like JJ Spawn shut me up, I mean he's kind of is this just a hatred? I don't know. I think Zalatoris actually just killed it. Like he just did really well, and
mhm.
Berger had no chance. That's my take. You can look at the numbers. Oh, Mitch is typing. Kill him, Mitch. Go after
Nah,
Andrew.
Team
Yeah,
Jacob
there we yeah.
Pitchers
Thanks. Need the support.
sound.
I
Um,
think Berger got hungry probably.
my question for you then would be from a financial perspective because we like doing our ladders beforehand. I think they're fun. Obviously, our Harry Hall one will live in infamy. Um, would it be better to take Pendrith ladder and this make a cut parlay, or invest 2 units and make a cut?
Ooh, good question. It would be better to invest 2 units in him making the cut.
Yeah. Okay. So as much as we love picking winners, I think you could do it with Pendrith. I think we both like it, and it does fit the profile of somebody that could win the tournament and might have decent odds. Hell, we might even just bet it like just like to win as like a side bet as well. But maybe for the latter, it's just this just has too much value on it right now for Xander and Pendrith. I think this is wild, in my opinion. You know, um, I'm all about that. So, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm not a TMD merchant. I want my hands up in the air and say I'm not a TMD merchant. We do our collabs, but I was interested in Zalatoris before. I uh I saw this, so I think right now my card is going to be Zalatoris top 40 finish, make a cut parlay between Xander and Pendrith, and then I want to find one guy to ladder that we're interested in. Now, Nikolai is interesting from a ladder perspective. Do you think he really has top 10 upside though in this tournament?
Yeah, he does. He's explosive. I mean that's kind of it won't be a long shot. No one's gonna call you a genie, but he's definitely a guy that I've heard a lot of people talk about, so I had to look into it a little bit more. Rasmus is playing another dog. He's actually priced higher on DFS, which is crazy
Hmm.
to me. I think Nikolai's better.
Yeah,
Um,
the Nikolai
gonna ball
ladder
out.
I think is interesting to me because that's better odds than we were getting for Pendrith. Let me see. So Nikolai's sitting at plus 5,500, plus 445 for a top 10 finish. And I'm sure you could start this all the way at top 40, and he is damn near like plus odds. Let me see for Nikolai. Oh my gosh, plus 40? He is plus 158 for a top 40 finish. Wow,
Right.
that is nuts. I think again, with the ladders, I think the idea is value is what you're searching for, and that just screams value to me.
Value and upside, man. That's the equation.
Hmm. Value and upside. I think Nikolai has that. So, are you opposed to a ladder on this, or is there somebody else you want to look at first?
I'm not opposed to it at all. I think he's wonderful and he's definitely um, one of my main targets. I just wanted to go. I went onto Betspert just now and I'm looking to see what Pat Mayo. If you do not know who Pat Mayo is, give him a follow on Twitter. He's pretty big. But he wrote Nikolai was trending better towards the end of last season with three top 15 finishes over his final five PJ Tour starts, including T4 in Scotland and T14 at the Open. He's made four starts worldwide since, going T3, T11 in the DP World Tour playoffs, and T52 and T4 run through Dubai the past 2 weeks. Nikolai's fifth in the field in ball speed, third in distance, and earned a silver medal in his first and only start at the Farmers in 2024. So, like, that sums it up really well. We love who he is as a golfer and how he fits. Um, and he's a guy that's been pretty good in form. So it's not like he lost anything.
Hmm. I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding him in Pat Mayo's. Oh, he's 20. So Hogard is currently 24th in Pat Mayo's model, which is really, really good. It puts him near Aaron Rye, Cameron Young, the guys that we know do really well. Um, Vince Whaley. Do you want to mention Vince really quick, or is he somebody that you're just kind of surprised is this high on the model?
I'm surprised he's up there. I'm
Okay.
not touching Vince Whaley, but like I wrote about at the Sony, like it would just, or was it Amex or Sony?
Hmm.
It was last week. I just said it'd be cool to see Vince Whaley place well. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotcha. So, all right, I think I'm gonna do Nikolai. I think I'm gonna do Zalatoris. I think I'm gonna do the Xander Petrus parlay. That one I'm probably gonna do for 2 units. I'm gonna take a look if if it's on FanDuel for better odds or whatever. Is there anything else that you want to mention about this specific course, about the players? Is there anything else you wanted to note before we sign off?
Sure, we'll do this one for Andrew. Address the elephant in the room. Brooks Koepka has returned. His lines are a little weird. He's getting a lot of value in the outright markets, and it hasn't even changed. since it opened, I don't think, and the round lines being 72 and a half. Andrew, it's not because he's washed. 72 and a half at that South course is perfectly fine.
It's what
Like,
most people are going to be at.
it's what most people are going to be at, and like you can win this tournament and go over 72 and a half on day one.
Hmm.
Like if you look at Jason Day last year, perfect example, like he does pretty well in the North course and then just fucks up the South course. It's like it's possible. Brooks is going to shoot even or better. Well, you have a great 72 and a half line that you can take under, and we can talk about this tomorrow after the rounds are done. It's tough. And I don't know. I know he's good in these settings. Definitely a guy that fits, but I don't know. I don't know. I'll take the value. Sometimes you have to. It's there's so many golfers that could do well or could do bad here. It's a really tough call. Brooks is smacked out in the center of that.
Okay, well, what I'm trying to do right now, I'm not sure if Prize Picks doesn't love me sharing lines um, on stream, or they're just their website's cooked right now. But I'm trying to look up Prize Picks lines, and I'm having a really hard time with it for opening day. So I guess we can just do this on DraftKings for round score. Yeah, we can't do it on DraftKings. Okay. So we'll just do it on DraftKings, and I might move it to Prize Picks once they figure their shit out. Um, what are some people that you're looking at round one? Because I love doing those round one plays, and I love doing the parlay that I do each time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's all you got for me?
Sorry, what? Like I was kind of looking into Andrew, and so I just kind of hit you with the yeah.
No, no, you're good. I asked you a question. I said, do you want to go over round one stuff, or do you want to save that for tomorrow?
I do. I'm gonna keep it 5 minutes and in. I have not too much to say about round one, but I have three names. One of them, Dan Brown. Fuck you, Dan Brown. I don't believe in you at all tomorrow. Your line's
Wow, what the
72 and a half.
hell?
I think you go over that. Fuck Dan Brown. He's cooked.
Okay, all right. Well, you said that round one you want
um,
to fade people, so this is going to be the complete opposite type of people we have been talking about. So Dan Brown's one of them. Give me somebody else.
Matt Wallace, and the best ones last. Uh, So fuck Matt Wallace. He's not going to do well either. The last name is Rico Hoey. Hoey's playing shit golf, and he's a good player, and I love to back him. But dude's been ass. I think he withdrew last week too after
Hmm.
not playing that well. I think he might have hurt himself. But three guys I love to fade. Yeah,
Well,
Rico is so washed. Agreed.
something about Rico that stands out to me: plus 114 for over 72 strokes.
And that's hitting, dude. Like some of these, I don't think Parsons knows how to price well. I mean, you saw us do it at the Amex on Thursday and Friday. We collectively, you and I, hit like what 6 plus money bets. It was
Yes.
crazy. It was crazy. I mean, it's kind of easy to do when you really can zone in on it. Amex
Ooh,
was free to use.
I wish there was a bogeys prop for Rico, but there is not. Um, I'm taking a look at see if there's anything that stands out to me from people that we weren't personally a big fan of. A lot of these people are actually people we really like. Like a lot. If was there, if let's not talk about like the how much it costs. If you had to picture one person in your mind that you would take an under 2.5 bogeys prop for in round one, does anybody stand out, or is that a prop you do not want to touch?
Under two, like, are you meaning to say under? Like he
Yes,
won't bogey?
yes, and I'm saying under 2.5 bogeys.
Oh man, it would have to be a guy that can scramble really. I'm probably gonna say like Ludwig.
Ludwig,
That would be a guy that can maybe get out of some situations. Um, Cam Young potentially. JJ Spawn would be another one.
JJ Spawn's currently at plus money to go under 2.5 bogeys. Um, you said Cameron Yun. Cameron Yun is at plus 126 for under 2.5 bogeys. Those are
Kind
two
of
guys.
kind of like it.
Kind
Um,
of like it. Again, I'm not saying get to 10. Trying to give everyone options for round one, because taking over 2.5 bogeys for a lot of these guys. Oh, Ludwig. Ludwig does have odds. They're all extreme plus odds, by the way, for all three of them to go under 2.5 bogeys, which is interesting.
Chris Gotterup has some pretty good bogey avoidance numbers. So,
hmm
and
He's
he
he's the
can
one that has the
score.
best odds. He's
So,
at minus 190 to go under.
he's definitely a guy. I don't know if they have one for Garrett Kigo. He's another
They do
guy.
not.
I like
And
bogey
then for
avoidance.
birdies, I'm seeing like 3.5. Most guys 4.5. If there's somebody you're like, he's getting 4+ birdies tomorrow. Does anybody stand out?
Gotterup.
Got her up.
He might not finish with the best, like the lowest score of the day, but that man birdies. He just does. And he is the Iron Man. Why not bet his top 20? Because, motherfucker, I'm not gonna. But
Yeah.
it's a good bet. I won't hate on it
What
at
would you
all.
say
It's
is
a great
better?
bet.
His under 2.5 bogeys or his over 4.5 birdies?
4.5?
Yeah.
Oh, it's under on bogeys.
Okay. So that's a little high.
But just
I
because four, if it was 3.5, that'd be so free.
Yeah. I feel you there. We talked about Marco a little bit. He's at 3.5 for birdies. Ryan Gerard's at 3.5. 4.5 is a tough line to take in round one on this course. I agree with you. I'm looking at the 3.5s personally for these birdie bets. I'm just seeing if really anything stands out of any players that we've talked about that I like. Dan Brown does have a 3.5 birdies line. Would you nuke the under on that?
Hmm.
Or
I
is that, are
think
you more
Dan
in?
Brown's going to lose it because the bogeys, not the birdies.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
If he has an over
Um,
bogeys,
Xander. Xander has a 3.5 birdies line.
oh, I like that. I think he birdies 3 times.
Okay. Pendrith has a 3.5 birdies line.
That too, I can see. I don't know like how explosive guys are going to be round one. All I know is it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
Siwoo Kim has a 3.5 birdies line.
I mean, that he probably hits.
Yeah, I
He's
agree.
also just a scorer.
I agree with you on that. So I would say the ones that really stand out: Dan Brown, Matt Wallace, and Rico Hoy over 72.5 strokes, under 2.5 birdies for Yun, Spawn, and who was it? Oh, this was Ludwig for Ludwig, and got her up for under bogeys, and then over 3.5 birdies for Xander, Pendrith, and Siwoo Kim. I would say all those are ones that I'm going to be targeting for tomorrow and in the prize pick slip.
Yeah, I'd say
Because
that's fair.
I definitely would say under strokes is probably a bad bet for anybody, unless it's an insane line because of the variability of tomorrow on what it could be. You
Yeah,
know,
one
somebody could get 5 birdies, but then completely fall apart in the back nine or at holes 13 and
hundred
14, like we mentioned. So, all right. Anything else
Yeah,
you wanted to say
that's 100% true.
before we sign off?
Nah, just wish everyone the best of luck, and Wiz and I are going to deliver in this one, even if it doesn't look pretty at times. It's because it's not a pretty. It's a pretty course. People don't play pretty on it, but we're going to take advantage of that, and I think it's going to be a big one. Hopefully, we can nail this. If we work on a ladder, hopefully we can nail that as an outright because that
Yep.
would be huge to start the year.
I think me and Team B will talk about it for just a little bit after the stream is over. So, all right, guys. If you enjoyed this far, appreciate it. Leave a comment below if you did enjoy it. I'll be posting it on YouTube. Hopefully, everything and the production wise ended up being okay. So, let's have a great third tournament with Wiz at TMD, and I'll catch y'all later.